If you're a police officer, your main duty usually involves protecting the public, upholding the law, and you're expected to follow certain standards. It ideally should be a crucial aspect of your profession to be an example for the general public, especially if you're a cop who is also a social media influencer and has lots of chances to take photos and videos with celebrities. How can one be a social media influencer and a cop too, you may ask? Well, we'll get into it shortly. The life of Beau Lamarre-Condon was one in conflict, a conflict between a desire for grandeur perpetuated through a social media illusion and a much darker reality, one of intense obsession and stalking, eventuating in our current case today, double murder case of Luke Davies and Jesse Baird. Beau's online behaviour and the lifestyle he presented to the world on his social media had already raised the eyebrows of those who knew him as a police officer. But just who is this former police officer anyway? And why did Beau Lamarre-Condon kill? Grab a blanket and let's dive in. Today's case, which at the time of recording is still ongoing, revolves around a man named Beau Lamarre-Condon who is presently facing charges after allegedly ending the lives of TV presenter Jesse Baird and his partner Luke Davies. We will also talk about the victims, who they were, and how they were loved by their friends and family later in the video. Beau Lamarre-Condon, who apparently hid his police work from his around 24,000 social media followers, liked to portray himself as amongst the ultra-elites of Sydney. His carefully curated feed included extensive travel on private jets, lounging in decadent holiday destinations, and parading expensive design handbags, none of which matched his junior constable's salary. And then, after a widely publicised and extensive search for two missing persons followed by a manhunt for an unnamed man in February of 2024, in an ironic twist of fate, Lamarre-Condon would suddenly become a household name in Australia after he turned himself into Bondi Police on the 23rd of February, and the police confirmed he was their main suspect. Suddenly, this previously unknown man was put under public scrutiny and his odd path to the arrest would be uncovered. Beau Lamarre-Condon grew up in Sydney's Kirrawee in Sutherlandshire. Far from the perfect life portrayed, his family life was at best ordinary. His parents, Colleen and Raymond, a former New South Wales police officer and security guard respectively, separated during his childhood. His sister Jamila was employed by the New South Wales Police Force as a dispatcher, showing an almost family tradition of working in protective services. However, she was later fired after refusing to be vaccinated while pregnant, and later started an unsuccessful bid to have this overturned. Also in the family is an uncle working in the finance industry with whom Jamila likely lived for some period of time and whom Lamarre-Condon may have also been close to and occasionally visited. During his secondary school years, Beau was subjected to intense bullying due to his academic failures, bad acne, and was likely still struggling with his sexuality at the time. As a result of this, he dropped out of school and would seek to find a new way to success. After leaving school, he would begin life as what is known as a celebrity chaser, someone who dedicates themselves to attending celebrity events and, as the name suggests, chasing down celebrities, grabbing autographs, and more importantly, photos. Along with him, his sister Jamila was also a celebrity chaser before she became a radio dispatcher for the New South Wales Police, so both siblings were the same in this aspect. As most of you would be unaware, celebrity chasers are an interconnected community of around 10 to 15 people nationally, mainly young men, all pursuing that same rush from following and meeting internationally renowned stars. In an anonymous interview, a former longtime member of this tight group said that the group would often meet together at stadiums, outside hotels, airports, and other locations where celebrities would be, and wait for long periods of time for any chance to snatch a photo of themselves with the stars. Afterwards, they would often share and compare their prizes with one another, and he went on to say that Lamarre had joined this group at the age of 16, saying that Beau was the biggest fanboy of them all, as the competition could get very intense and there was no one who would linger longer than Beau Lamarre-Condon, and when everyone else had given up and gone home, Beau would still be there, going above and beyond. And due to this reputation, he became rather well known in the scene, especially in Sydney, which at the time had only around 4 main chasers. The former chaser speculates that Beau likely got into the scene as a way to get back at those who bullied him in school, so that he could impress and brag to them about all the famous people he had met and knew. He may have felt that this gave him some sort of power over his former tormentors and made them irrelevant or unimportant in comparison to himself. This is a theme that we can now see would continue to penetrate every facet of Beau's life into the future. There are a plethora of photos of Beau with well-known international celebrities such as Dua Lipa, Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, and even Kim Kardashian. Beau was also known to have exaggerated these encounters, as he frequently would speak as though he personally knew these celebrities, saying on his posts things such as "backstage chills with the Biebs," alongside a photo of him with Justin Bieber that was on his now taken down Instagram. In 2012, Beau was also named by his senior school friends in his yearbook as the most likely to be famous. Little did they know how right they were. In 2014, he made headlines after throwing a note on stage at a Lady Gaga concert.
Guys, we're back.
Gaga, can I have a hug before you leave? Gaga, I've been here 40 days. Gaga, I've been here 40 hours.
Gaga, please.
The singer then read out his note, explaining that her music had inspired him to come out to his parents, which, although he said had been met with acceptance, an anonymous source for the Sydney Morning Herald said that this led to estrangement with his father Raymond. Like some of us who would also want to become famous, he then later built on and leveraged this experience he had with the celebrities to create a celebrity news channel and blog site called That's the Tea, for which he attended many red carpet events and conducted interviews with famous people. Beau even previously alleged that the site received a monthly average of 2.1 million views for his work on celebrity gossip. However, the channel didn't seem to gain much long-term traction, with it only having gained 85 subscribers by late 2022, almost 12 years after its initial creation. Though the original site is now gone, many videos are still easy to find and act as a foreboding and stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk within plain sight. Here is a clip of his interview with Chris Hemsworth.
To Australia.
Thanks, buddy.
So we're here at the Extend Wool Awards.
Yeah.
What are you excited for? You obviously wear the suit yourself.
I wear it this, yeah.
After his stint in the public and celebrity field, Beau seems to have dropped off the map for a period of time until he would follow in his mother and sister's footsteps, enroll in the police academy graduating in 2018, and become a member of the police force in 2019, eventually gaining the rank of junior constable. Unbeknownst to his fellow officers, he was at this time leading a very public double life outside of his work hours. On his Instagram, Lamarre-Condon would portray himself very differently than in his day-to-day job, as online, instead of being a mere junior officer, he led a life of high-end luxury, with long-haul first-class flights to international tourist destinations in locations such as Greece and Italy, staying in lavish resorts and gaudily parading designer luxury handbags. Obviously, being on only a junior officer's salary, the lifestyle that he presented to the world made no sense, and some would notice this, with one past date stating that he was extremely confused, saying that it made no sense that he could afford $100,000 plus holidays and an $100,000 car. The constant overseas holidays, cycle of expensive cars, and life of luxury also eventually caught the attention of his colleagues, with one particular fellow graduate of the police academy saying that he was already driving a new Mercedes back in 2018 when he was enrolled in their academy. Beau, however, would brush aside these concerns by saying that he was an influencer or blogger, and his constant flow of cash, his travel, and his lavish lifestyle merely came with the job, though some continued to speculate that he had some other source of income, such as an older rich boyfriend. Funnily enough, during the police's investigation, it was uncovered that there was an account on at least one escort site known as My Best Gigolo, where Beau's photos were found with an account describing him as a trilingual French straight man named Marcel, based in Bolivia, with prices ranging from $550 for 1 hour all the way up to $1,700 for a full day. Now, we must note at this time, as the investigation and court case continues, we cannot confirm that this account was created by Beau, and the police believe that he was a victim of identity theft. We mostly agree, given that he has always presented himself as and is known as a gay man. It is very likely that his photos were used by a third party without his knowledge. But given his record of attention-seeking, need for grandeur, and seemingly high-end lifestyle, we wouldn't put it past him to create something like this, and, as of yet, his funds still remain unexplained. In 2020, Beau would again come to the public's attention, though his name would not. In June of that year, a video would emerge and rapidly gain views on Twitter, now X, of 2 New South Wales police officers arresting an unarmed First Nations man, Chris Bradshaw. Here is the clip.
Hey, get the fuck out! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground now! 5 seconds! Get on the ground now! Get on the ground! Put your hands out! Put your hands out!
Down.
Go in and cuff him.
Down, down.
If you move, I will tase you.
Sit down on the ground.
Get the
Down.
fuck on the
Get down on the ground. Get down on the ground.
Put
Get down on the ground.
Why are you fucking doing that?
Put your hands!
What are you doing, man?
In the video, Chris can be seen complying with an order to get on the ground as one of the officers points a taser at him. As he kneels with his empty hands stretched out, the other officer gives him another order to lie on the ground. Chris hesitates for a second, confused as he is already on the ground, and within seconds, he is grabbed by the front of his shirt by the officer holding the taser and pulled up to his feet again. That officer then tasers Chris right in the face at point-blank range, as Chris can be heard saying, fuck man, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, man? I can't breathe properly." Afterwards, Chris was charged with intimidating police, resisting arrest, theft and trespassing, and the officer who tased him was later called in as a witness at his trial. This incident would become to be seen as another example of police brutalization of non-Anglo citizens. We now know that the officer holding the taser was in fact Beau Lamarre-Condon, who after public outrage and a police internal investigation was cleared of all wrongdoing and continued his employment with the police. Given what we now know, this is seen as the time when the alleged killer's murders could have been prevented, as had he faced disciplinary action for his brutality, he would not have had access to the gun that police allege would later be used to murder Baird and Davies.
Hello everybody, my name is Jesse Baird and we are here at the TV Week Logie Awards.
Let's not solely focus on the perpetrator and move on to the most important subjects, the victims, who were dearly loved by their families. One of them was Jesse Baird.
Oh hey there guys, Jesse Baird here. As a presenter on Totally Wild, I'm the go-to guy for all the extreme hardcore stories.
Baird was a well-known public figure within New South Wales, having initially worked as a presenter for Channel 10 on the children's educational variety TV show Totally Wild at the age of only 20 in 2017, which covered news and science in a fun way, and he would host the show until its cancellation in 2021. At 22, he would also go on to become the host for a new children's game show called Gamify, which aired from 2019 to 2020. In each episode, the show had 3 young contestants complete a series of challenges to win prizes. While the show only lasted a single season, Jesse had showed that he had the fun personality and energy that works so well on TV and could hold the viewer's attention on his own. At the same time, he was also an Australian rules football umpire, one of his biggest passions, and he would move from umpiring regional games to working with the AFL in 2020. His talents as an umpire were even recognised as well, with him winning the Brian Pratt Medallion for the most promising AFL umpire in 2020 and 2021, as well as umpiring 2 finals, a highlight he was very proud of. Cut to early 2023. Jesse Baird is out at a nightclub trying to recover after the breakup of a lengthy relationship due to him moving from Brisbane to Sydney. It is here that he would meet Beau Lamarre-Condon and would become casual friends with him, who likely bonded over their shared interest in celebrities and entertainment news. The man Jesse had broken up with in Brisbane has said that after they ended their relationship amicably, it was hard for Jesse and that he was not looking for any other relationship at that time and understandably needed time for himself to heal emotionally. While allegedly not in any kind of official relationship, Jesse and Beau did hang out regularly, and their friendship can even be seen in pictures such as one where Jesse and Beau were seen together at Beau's mother's, Colleen, 60th birthday party in March of 2023. Despite police alleging that Jesse and Beau were in an on-again, off-again relationship, Jesse's ex instead says that they were merely friends with benefits. He went on to say that Beau quickly developed an obsessive crush on Jesse, as he had done with many celebrities, and began to make Jesse feel very suffocated. Though Jesse had made it clear multiple times that he was seeing other people, Beau would completely ignore this and begin some unsettling and possessive behaviours. For example, once while Jesse was out having some coffee with another man, he would receive weird text messages from Beau like, "I hope you're enjoying that coffee with that other guy," clearly indicating that Beau had been following him for some time. Jesse had also mentioned to his friends that during times when he would be hanging out with Beau, after he would go to the toilet, he would sometimes catch Beau going through his phone, looking at his messages and his social media accounts. Jesse's ex said he begged, "Jesse, go to the police," but he was scared an allegation about him might arise, and he may lose his AFL umpiring career which he loved so much. Obviously, this made Jesse feel extremely uncomfortable, but the final straw would come when Beau began posting videos on his private social media, presenting them as if they were a couple, just as he had done in his past time in the celebrity chasing community. After this, in mid-2023, Jesse would break off all contact with Beau and send him a definitive message, which we know through a partial screenshot that he had sent to one of his friends to proofread before he would go on to send it to Beau. It is likely that these unreciprocated feelings from Jesse and subsequent cutting of ties could have broken the illusion he had built of himself and Jesse, and would then allegedly cause Beau to seek vengeance on Jesse. It is from this point that police allege that Beau ramped up his stalking of Jesse. According to documents presented by the police, on the 17th of August, Beau had broken into Jesse's share house in Paddington, New South Wales. Adding to the creepiness, Jesse had told his friends that as he awoke during the night, he thought that he had seen the silhouette of a man standing in his bedroom staring at him. But as he woke up properly and moved, the person quickly ran away, according to police sources who are not authorized to speak publicly. According to Jesse's ex, he had called him in a panic state in the morning and said, "Last night, this morning, I was sleeping in my bed and I had the feeling that someone was standing over me at the end of my bed watching me, and when I woke up, they stole my phone and wallet. I bolted after them." While he was unable to catch the nighttime intruder or get back his phone, someone found his wallet and messaged him via Instagram to return it. While it is possible that Beau was either trying to learn the layout of the house for a future break-in or intended to commit an act of violence that night, the New South Wales Police Deputy Commissioner David Hudson released a statement saying, "We allege that the accused had attended Jesse's home address. We allege that he had utilized a key to enter those premises, and that he took possession of Jesse's phone and deleted contacts and messages out of that phone before leaving the premises." Currently, they have added an aggravated break-and-enter with intent charge to the list of Beau's charges after his 2024 arrest. After this troubling time, Jesse would come to meet his final boyfriend, Luke Davies, the other dearly beloved victim in this double homicide. So let's take a look at Luke Davies and the man he was. Luke was 29 years old and had started his career with Qantas as a flight attendant in September of 2022, and quickly became a beloved member of the Sydney team, with the cabin crew executive manager saying he had a passion for travel, life, his family and friends, and the customers he served. He had a deep impact on his colleagues, who said that he was more than a close friend. He was a source of inspiration, a constant reminder of the beauty in life, and that his laughter was infectious to everyone around. His employer and colleagues were not the only ones who had an extremely positive experience with Luke. Even passengers he had flown with had nothing but beaming memories with him. One particular passenger said that due to his caring actions for an older couple, she will never forget him. She said that while working on a Sydney to Singapore flight, Luke was informed by a woman that her husband, who had rapidly deteriorating dementia, was going to visit their son on what would be his final trip due to the awful disease. The passenger said that after hearing this, Luke took it upon himself to care for them constantly, and would be by the couple's side throughout the flight, even working through his breaks. The passenger said that she saw him tucking in the husband to set up movies and music for him, reassuring him that everything was okay and consoling the wife when she became upset, doing everything in his power to make sure that the man was as comfortable as possible. She said, Luke was able to support not only the wife, but the husband, and make sure that the wife was able to get the rest she needed before the next 14-hour flight. From these descriptions from the people who knew Luke in everyday life, we can see that he was a happy and caring man, which is likely what Jesse saw in him when he met him. On the 16th of February, Beau took a firearm out from Miranda Police Station in South Sydney. He signed out the firearm for a user pays activity for the 18th of February, where police officers are hired for private events. It is not clear whether or not he would work at that event. However, usually during user pays events, officers would collect the firearm on the day or before the event, not days before the event. Allegedly, on the 17th of February, 2 days before the murder, Beau brought a surfboard bag from a sports store. It can be seen from the CCTV footage that he and one other friend came out carrying one surfboard bag. On the 19th of February, the day of the murder, at 9:50 am, a neighbour heard a gunshot noise at Jesse Baird's Paddington home, though they did not report this to the police at the time. 4 minutes later, Luke Davies' phone called 000, but the phone got disconnected before reaching any operator. Who knows who placed the call? 3 hours after the murder, Beau was seen buying another surfboard bag, this time by himself. This surfboard bag was allegedly later used to store Luke Davies' body. In the evening, Beau hired a Toyota Hiace van from Sydney Airport. The next day, Beau got rid of the belongings of Jesse and Luke and allegedly made partial admissions about him murdering the couple to an acquaintance who police believe to be uninvolved. Also on this day, text messages were reportedly sent from Jesse's phone to his housemates claiming that he was relocating to Perth and instructing them to either sell his belongings or to place them into storage. Allegedly, it was Beau who used Jesse's phone to do this. On the 21st of February, the police found bloodied clothing and some personal items such as watches and credit cards in a bin in Cronulla. At 11 am, police notified the homicide squad. 4 hours later, police found a significant amount of blood in Jesse's house in Paddington. On the same day, Beau and his innocent friend brought an angle grinder and padlock to break into a private property in a southern tableland property. His friend was left outside the property for 30 minutes. She claimed to not know what Beau was up to at this point. After that, the pair drove 2 hours back to Sydney. There was a gap in the timeline, but police alleged that Beau may have left his parents' property in Bungonia at 4:30 am and went to Newcastle on the 22nd of February. He contacted one of his police friends to ask for a hose to clean the van, but he did not disclose any criminal activities to them. By this time, the search for the missing couple had made national news headlines, forcing Beau to move the bodies again. On the 23rd of February, Beau went to the Bondi police station to surrender himself, and he was then charged with 2 counts of murder in the Waverley police station. Beau initially did not cooperate, however, later assisted police in the location of the bodies. The Toyota Hiace van was found in Grace Point. The police also raided his home in Balmain. On the 25th of February, police included special divers to search the waterways in the Newcastle suburb of Lambton and 2 dams in the rural area of Bungonia until the following days when it turned into a detailed search on the 27th of February. At around 1 PM, the team found 2 surfboard bags where human remains were stored, later identified as Jesse and Luke. After the shocking news of the couple's disappearance and the subsequent discovery of their murders, hundreds, maybe thousands, paid their respects and honoured the lives to the memory of the 2 happy, life-loving men in Darlinghurst Green Park in Sydney. Among those who came to honour the 2 young men were Jesse's former colleagues from Network 10, where he was employed until late last year. Luke's co-workers from Qantas, where he worked as a flight attendant, were also present, along with some individuals wearing Virgin Airline t-shirts. In Jesse's Paddington home, there was no longer any space left for flowers. The public, friends and family then left flowers on the outside fence of the Brown Street home. News outlets also documented LGBTQI community members kneeling by the door, crying. If only they could turn back time and save the couple. It must have been hard for the police to also look into one of their own. Could the tragedy be avoided if some protocols were made better? For example, the firearm that was used to murder the couple. Would it have been better if firearms for the user pays events could only be picked up on the day of the event and returned on the same day as well? The 000 call. Could they have been saved if the emergency services responded to it faster? Could they make a better system or technology to track the exact location of a phone call that was made to them, even though the call was disconnected before ever reaching an operator? While it is incredibly sad that Jesse was murdered, it is especially sad that Luke died only because he happened to be in the house at the same time on the same day, and if he had not been there, he would still be here with us today. As the court case continues and investigative material is still being gathered, we really hope that Beau's guilt can be determined either way and justice can be given to both Jesse and Luke's families as quickly as possible. Once the court case concludes and we have an outcome on this terrible case, we will of course provide you an update in a future video. So if you enjoyed this video and you love true crime series, we have a couple more videos just for you to binge watch. We're a couple who loves making these kind of videos for you to fall asleep to. Your likes and subscribes mean a lot to us and will encourage us to make more videos just like this one in the future. So, thank you and good night.